The final clash of Jamaica's schoolboy football season last Saturday saw the All-Dacosta selection beat the All-Mannings team on penalties in an exciting affair at the National Stadium in Kingston. Gerard Morrissey was there and has our recap.
Had 5 trophies on offer for 5.
Schoolboy football's top performers were awarded on Saturday before the All-Mannings All-Dacosta clash at the National Stadium. 15 individual awards were given, with DeJohn Whisper Richards taking home 5. Richards, who had 30 goals and 18 assists for the season, walked away as the MVP for both the Champions Cup and Manning Cup competitions. He also won the Golden Boot for both competitions, with the Manning Cup Golden Boot accounted for knockout matches only. His 5th award was for the Manning Cup leading goal scorer, which included all matches from round 1. The Costa Cup MVP honors went to Clarendon College's Malachi Douglas, who had 11 goals and 7 assists. With the award ceremony done and dusted, it was game time. The All-Mannings team in the yellow and green jersey up against the All-Dacosta outfit led by Douglas. The urban area All-Stars opened the scoring in the 21st minute through the boot of Jamaica College's Kevon Wilson, thanks to the assist from Mona's Zane Pinnock. 10 minutes later, Yarrick Carnegie back to Marcus Reed, whose pass touched Carnegie on its way to Douglas.
Carnegie has to go back to Marquise Reed. Reed slips it through beautifully. And Malachi Douglas makes no mistake this time. The flag stays down and the All-Dacosta boys are level.
One MVP would score after the other. A mistake from the All-Dacosta defense picked up by Richards, and the KC boy did what he does best. 2-1 in the 39th. That's how it would stay at the half. Only 6 minutes into the second half, the All-Dacosta team would strike back. Xavier Davison II attempting a pass to goalkeeper Bernard, but instead found Kahim Ditson, who rode it across goal to Marcus Reed for 2-2. It would stay that way until the final whistle, sending the game to a penalty shootout.
2-2.
Nakoy Gale stepped up with the All-Dacosta team leading the shootout 2-1. But the St. Andrew technical student would be further haunted by shootouts as he puts it wide. Okimo Jones, the 3rd Clarendon College kicker, converted with ease to extend the advantage to 3-1. Nikhil Ellis kept the All-Mannings team alive with his conversion, but Christopher Hull, with the opportunity to put the shootout to bed, sent this one crashing off the crossbar. The All-Mannings team was still in it.
He steps up.
Tivoli High's Daniel Watson also missed for the All-Mannings team, as did All-Dacosta's Devontae Hodges, who tried to go straight down the middle, but Bernard stayed put to come up with the save. Andre Salmon then needed to score to send the shootout to sudden death, but he couldn't.
Shoot up the line. Salmon! Can't convert! And the All-Dacosta team, on a brilliant save by the oldest player in their lineup, Moy Morgan, wins the Clash of Titans at the National Stadium.
All-Dacosta beating All-Mannings, all good. Chris Taylor joins us now. He called it right when we were previewing the game. He said All-Dacosta would win. Not quite sure he predicted on penalties, but a win is a win and the man is taking his W. Good afternoon, Chris. Welcome to the program.
Greetings. Always a pleasure, George.
Yeah, man. All right. Just talk, for those who weren't inside the National Stadium, talk about the game, the ebb and flow, and the quality from the teams and individuals on the show.
Not the most exciting game, it must be said. I thought that, in fact, there are a lot of aspects of of the environment, the whole occasion that was a bit disappointing for me. I thought the crowd was disappointing. I didn't see many scouts there, and that's unfortunate. And at the end of 90 minutes, I found there were quite a few of the youngsters who hadn't played, and I thought that the thought process coming in was a bit inaccurate. I would have thought coming into this, all of the 44 youngsters would have earned their place here. You're finding the best from the rural, best from the urban. And I thought that everybody deserved their equal share on the platform. Yes, everybody wants to win, but I think that is secondary, and really it's an opportunity for all to showcase their skills, with the possibility of, especially the senior ones, of going on to colleges through scouting, etc. Even the Premier League coaches coming to look, and the national coaches as well. But obviously the coaching staff of either team had other ideas. And the truth is, even if it came down to bragging rights, where it's rural versus urban, I would have thought that with a squad of 22, if you used your full squad and beat the other team, then that in itself proves that you have been the best representation of the island. But the match itself, I thought was okay. As you said, 4 goals, so that part of it would have been exciting. Some of the players maybe that you would have expected to blow the place away a little bit undercharged. I think the fact that there's been such a long break, almost a month, between the end of the Olivia Shield and this, played a part. Some of the players looked a little bit chunky and a little bit slow. The one thing I would say, George, that I'm happy about is that this match has returned after 6 years. And I think that from that perspective, it's a step in the right direction. What I'd like to see is that it's better planned and better organized, and how the players get there. You know, even simple things like it was lovely to see the guys receiving medals. I would love to see each of those representatives receive a certificate. Because I can tell you, I mean, I see persons who even at the age of 70 still remember when they played all schools football. So it's something that you treasure for your life. You would carry that. So it would be good to have some form of representation of your time.
So some memorabilia, because you're onto something there, Chris, because people forget that the reason we call them caps is because in the old days, players used to get a cap before every game.
Right.
So you had your cap. So some memorabilia to say, when you're 70 years old, you say, this is the cap I wore when I got picked to All-Dacosta in 2023, so forth, so forth. And the other point I'm agreeing with you on is this. I got the sense that, well, if you're going to have such a long gap between the end of the official season, when the Olivier Shield ends, and this All-Star game, which I of course, I'm happy is back as well, then you would have needed to have taken the time to invite Premier League coaches, invite scouts, and not just hope that we will stage it, they will come. So you use the time to plan the thing properly, invite people from as far away as you can get them, and mandate each Premier League club to send at least one senior official to the game, put them in a designated section, and say, gentlemen and ladies, here's the football of the future. This is what our high school system is producing. I think that is the way to go for the future where this All-Star game is concerned.
I totally agree, George. And as I said, if it is something that ISA puts on their calendar, then persons can plan. Irrespective, I would think 2 weeks probably after the end might be a good kind of tenure, to a good kind of time in between to set it up. But as I said, I think I was there in 2016 when the last one happened. It was at St. Elizabeth Technical. And there were so many scouts here from North America especially, and other places as well. And I think with a lot of these boys looking to go on to college or even professionally, that this kind of match facilitates that. So, as you said, by properly planning, putting a date on your calendar for this, you then offer that experience to these persons as well as the local fraternity as well, and the national coaches in the program, whether it be under 20, under 17, etc. But that is something that I would love to see. That is, as you said, the continued growth of it. But what I will give them is that it's back, and I think that is important. But it was a little sad to me to see that, especially on the All-Dacosta, there were 4 or 5 players who didn't get any time. I looked at even the Manning Cup team, and all persons were used except the reserve goalkeeper and Rasika Rose. But again, a lot of players put on in injury time in the 90th minute and so on. I don't think that is fair. I would have liked to have seen a better balance.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you use the squad equally and you come out on top, what it then proves is that it's not that individually you are better necessarily than, or you have better individuals, but your squad of players representing the area of the island is better than the other, instead of just a few players dominating the match. So that's something that I hope going forward we'll see better. Maybe if you're picking a squad of 22, you say, well, this you play 45 minutes and the other 11 play 45.
Right, and speaking about dominating, Maliki Douglas named man of the match. What did you make of the youngster's performance?
He was good, as he has been all season. I mean, carried the captain's armband for Clarendon College all the way to the title. Scored 12 goals if you include the one that he scored in the All-Dacosta All-Mannings. So 12 goals and about 8 assists. So I thought his performance right throughout the season was good. He was good in the match as well, orchestrated the middle, real box-to-box midfield, but versatile, can play the box-to-box role. The number 8 can play the number 10 role as well, the attacking midfield role. And I thought his goal was well composed, as you see. I mean, nice little build-up, good through ball, and his first touch to take it away from the goalkeeper Bernard was excellent, I thought. And then very calm in terms of the finish, even though defenders were rushing back. But he's certainly a leader, one for the future, and I like how he represented himself at the National Stadium.
Yeah, and speaking about one for the future, coming into this All-Star game, a lot of talk about Dijon, Whisper Richards, based on what we would have seen from him where goals are concerned. Again, fancy goal, but, not getting across the line.
Yeah, and as I said, this game, I mean, I don't think the foot was fully down on the pedal for a lot of these players. I thought, you saw a lot of friendliness through the match, even though when there were aggressive moments, you could see players hugging after talking, and that was really good to see. But yeah, Dijon is quality. He has a lot of ability, and his goal was an example of what we're seeing throughout the season. His ability to pick up on defensive mistakes and his explosiveness and power to get away from the defenders and strength was evident once again. So once he got in and around that 18-yard area, you're always going to, put your house on him to finish, and that was one of his usual calm finishes. Knew where the goal was, knew where the keeper was, and was able to get it past him. But right throughout the game, they played a 4-3-3 formation, and he rotated amongst the top three pretty well. He played on the right-hand side initially, came into the center, and he's always willing to play creator. So it's not a player who only thinks about himself in terms of goals, but he is able to bring other players into play, and it shows that his vision is also, very, very apparent. So I thought good performance by him. Definitely, as I said, not probably, but the biggest talent we've seen in schoolboy football this year.
Yeah.
And we just hope he will go from strength to strength. Excellent. At 17 years of age.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Thank you very much for your time, Chris. Thank you for your service over the course of the schoolboy football season, and we look forward to what the organisers will come with next year.
No, it's a pleasure. Take care, guys.
Chris Taylor, that's our schoolboy football analyst and our analyst of many things here on SportsMax, talking with us. Break time. Back with more after these.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.